My dear friends, take some coins, throw it in the pushka, and we will marry the Geula right now. Friends, you might have noticed that there are different backgrounds the last few days, and the reason for that is that I've been traveling from home, and I'm recording in different places, which reminded me a foolish little anecdote, but with a big lesson, and you'll see soon what I mean. This individual is preparing for a long flight, 12-hour flight, and he feels the most comfortable place that he will be sitting in the aisle. He impresses on his travel agent to make sure that he gets an aisle seat, guaranteed by the travel agent. He comes onto the plane looking for his aisle seat, and to his horror, he has a middle seat. He's thinking now, for 12 hours I'm going to be sitting sandwiched in the middle seat. He's upset. He's disappointed in the whole world. He's disappointed on his travel agents, disappointed at the system, the inefficiency, but not want to make a big ruckus, not want to make big noise, and sits down. But for 12 hours he's miserable. He finally comes to a destination. The family's there to welcome him. Open now, smiling, happy, hi, hey, welcome, with all the languages that he only knew, but he looks like stressed. When they ask, what's the matter, is everything okay? He says, could you imagine, I've been impressing the travel agent that I must have an aisle seat, and he promised I'm going to have it, and I ended up sitting sandwiched in the middle of the... Finally somebody asked, so I don't understand. Couldn't you ask the person sitting next to you on the aisle, maybe he wouldn't mind changing with you a little bit? He says, what do you think, I didn't think of that? Probably was there was nobody sitting there for me to be able to ask him to change. Now, you wonder what's this foolishness? But really, let's look at a parsha. A mitzvah in the Torah this week, where the Torah says that Shomer es Chodesh Aviv, anticipate the month of ripening, spring, because that's when you have to do the Korban Pesach, celebrate the holiday of Pesach. So the Torah says two things. The holiday of Pesach that we know is always in the month of Nisan has to be in spring. Explain. There's the solar cycle and the lunar cycle. The solar cycle has 365 days a year. The lunar cycle has 354 days a year, a discrepancy of approximately 11 days. Now, some count only according to the solar cycle. Some count only according to the lunar cycle. We as Jews, we have an issue. We have to go according to the month. The Jewish calendar is going according to the month. But we also have to make sure that it fits with the lunar cycle. Why? Because the Torah says that the month of Nisan, the festival of Pesach, has to occur during springtime. If we are going to allow it, the discrepancy to continue, we can have Pesach in the winter and Rosh Hashanah in the middle of the summer, and so on. So therefore, what the Torah tells us over here indicates that we have to make a leap year, and therefore, in a cycle of 19 years, we have 7 times a year of 13 months, so as to assure that the holidays, that the months stay in sync with the season, depending on the solar cycle. Now, why did God create these two systems? That's his business. Now, what are we learning from here? So the Rebbe points out in a magnificent letter and says the following. The solar cycle represents consistency. You know exactly tomorrow morning the sun is going to come up and the sun is going to set. A consistent routine, every day this routine is a reality. The lunar cycle represents renewal, taking initiative, thinking out of the box a little bit. Judaism says we need both. We need consistency. Our values are set on consistency, tracing back all the way to receiving the Torah on Mount Sinai, going back to our patriarchs and matriarchs. But at the same time, we have to be able to think in a way of renewal, imagination. Don't be stuck in your middle seat, not having with whom to speak on the side. Use the opportunities which become available for helping in the consistency of Judaism. And this is what the Torah tells us over here. Remember, Vasisa Pesach Lashem, you want to celebrate the holiday of freedom? Make sure that you can look for new initiatives, consistent, together with the sun. But look at every opportunity, look at every situation, and use it for the ultimate redemption.